live from Soho, New York City, world capital of wearable electronics, all things blinky, big blinky day. It's Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Today's May 14th, another fabulous Wearable Wednesday. With me is Phil, Mr. Lady Ada himself.
Hello.
Today we'll be talking about wearable, today and every day, we'll be talking about wearable electronics.
Yeah, we take a break talking about wearables to each other to talk to you, the audience.
Indeed, but
And the
through
community.
talking to each other and you.
Yeah.
What's on today's show, Phil? It's really exciting.
It is. On today's show, the code is Android NFC.
I should give you a hint about our project today. If you want to get 10% off anything in the Flora and Wearables category, you can use this code, Android NFC,
That's right.
all day today.
Wearable Wednesday.
We're going to debut a new awesome project having to do with Android and NFC.
That's right. Component of the week.
We're going to show you a component having to do with NFC and talk to you about why it's cool.
Not a weak component. That's a segment we no longer do. Next up, tools we love.
Today it's a hardware and software tool.
Questions, answers. You have questions. Becky has answers.
If you have questions at any time during the show, you can enter them in the comments on YouTube or tag us on Twitter or do Facebook or Insta, Snapchat, and
That's right.
we'll queue them up for a future show. If your question is featured, you will be made eligible to win the show's giveaway.
All that and more on Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern.
That's the name of the show.
That's the name of the show. Okay, here we go. Another week in Wearable Wonderland.
Why don't we talk about this first, since we don't have a
what
slide.
is this?
This is the latest copy of Make Magazine.
That's right. Our old jobs.
Both of our old jobs.
That's right.
We're working for this magazine. This is Grant Imahara on the cover this time.
Famous for Mythbusters.
Yep. And we have a Flora project in this issue of Make. This came, this is hot off the press. I don't think it's like going out to subscribers right now.
Yeah, that's right.
We have, to promote the new Flora book, they're publishing the
Look at
Flora
that.
Neo Geo Watch project
Yeah.
in Make, and there's it's one of their featured full-length projects, several pages guide with nice photos from our originally premiered on the
Yeah.
Adafruit learning system, and you can pick it up on the newsstand shortly.
Yeah. It's
Me
actually
and Tyler Cooper.
It's been a dream of mine to see your projects, Tyler's projects, our work, our photo, everything that Adafruit does with wearables in the pages, the print pages of Make.
Yeah.
So it's here.
It's cool. Here it is. We hope to put more Flora and Gemma projects in Make as time goes on. It's a nice, they're partners of ours on a lot of different levels. So it's cool.
Flora is one of those things where people imagine what they can do with it, and that's why it's more special than just the bits. The first time it showed up in a media place was the New York Times. Mm-hmm. The second time it showed up was on Lady Ada on entrepreneur.com. Mm-hmm. Sorry, in print and on .com. And then this time it's in the pages of Make.
Yeah.
Not too shabby.
Pretty cool. So hopefully a lot of people will be building the
Yeah.
Flora Neo Geo Watch project.
Yeah.
And
Flora making the rounds.
yeah, there's also a lot of really cool other stuff in this copy of Make. So it's what volume are they up to now? 39. It's crazy. It's 6 times yearly now, and it's bigger.
Yeah.
You see how it's bigger?
Yeah, Make is keeping pace with my age. Make is now a little older than me, if we went by volume.
Yeah.
Years.
Well, now it's going to get older faster now that there are six issues
That's
a
right.
year.
Good.
So you're not going to be anywhere near its
Fine.
age after a while. Yeah.
Excellent news. So to pay some bills here, keep this show going and the lights on. We got a lot of new lights. The code is Android NFC. 10% off wearables. Expires 11:59 p.m. tonight. Get on it.
Pretty much anything you see on the show today,
yeah.
you'll be able to get 10% off.
One little Adafruit programming note, which is kind of cool. Sometime today, probably within the next couple hours, we're going to hit our 500,000th order, Becky.
Wow. What's that person going to get, Phil?
Unknown. It all depends. If it's like a reseller or like a purchase order, I'll just find the closest one, just a regular person.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll have a post on it when it happens.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Last time was the 400,000th, right? And you contacted the person and said, can I blog you?
Yeah. And he's like, oh my God, this is great. I've never won anything in my entire life. And I'm like, well, we didn't really win anything. We're just giving this to you.
Well, they gave him his order for free.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's crazy.
Yeah,
500,000 orders.
Yeah, that's right. So if we keep going, maybe next year or a little after, we might hit 1 million. So
cool.
We'll keep going. Wearable Wednesday.
Order some stuff.
Yeah.
You could be the 500,000th order.
Yeah.
Okay, Wearable Wednesday, we're going to talk about news every week on the Adafruit site. If you go to the blog, you can follow all the cool happenings in the wearable world, cool projects people are making, and news about things like this. We now have signed Windows 8 drivers for Flora. So all of you Windows 8 users, I know I had a student at SVA who was on a Windows 8 computer, and he's Turkish, so we had the really lovely task of installing the custom Adafruit Arduino IDE on his Turkish Windows 8 system, and it was quite a challenge, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Now we have signed drivers, which would make it a lot easier for you to install the Flora, the Adafruit customized IDE that works for Flora, Trinket, and Gemma on Windows 8.
Yeah, special thanks to Mike, who works with us. He's the author of the Getting Started with Trinket book. He helped us with the driver signing for all the Adafruit stuff.
It's awesome.
It's really complicated, and we're also working with some other people out there who have this. If you do hobbyist electronics, one of your challenges is you need to get these signed drivers, and there's no easy, straightforward way. So Teensy, I think they're getting there as we talk to BeagleBone. We want to help them. That way, anyone who's doing microcontrollers, even if it's something that we don't sell, we'd like to see them make it easier for hobbyists out there.
Yeah.
So it should be easy if you use Flora or anything from Adafruit starting now if you have Windows 8.
Try it out.
8.1.
Let us know.
Yeah.
None of us are Windows 8 users, so
Yeah.
we would love your feedback.
Yeah, I use Windows 8 for testing, but it's only to test if things work on Windows 8.
Right.
So, yeah. All right, next up.
This is just, cool thing on the blog,
That's
Instagram
cool.
video,
Yeah.
NeoPixel, R2D2, Mickey Mouse ears.
So
Not much more to say about
and these
it.
are ones
Awesome.
that someone made.
Yeah, I think they're R2D2 Mickey Mouse ears with
Yeah.
NeoPixels on them.
So a while ago there was like people who go to Disney, who go there a lot. There's all sorts of things that you can collect.
Yeah.
And like there's always like another level up, and apparently
It's a deep cultural well.
yeah, there's these like mouse ears that I guess they light up when the parade comes up, and then someone made their own using NeoPixel, and now we see these. This is really cool. So
Yeah.
and that's
Make
kind
your
of
own collectible Disney swag.
yeah. So
Wear
people not in addition to collecting what Disney buys, people go there with stuff that they've made. That's kind of cool.
I think if I go to Disney again, I would like to like guerrilla add myself to the electric parade.
Just like wear all the
Just jump in
just wear like 4 weeks of projects and jump in.
and see how long it takes them to notice.
Okay. Speaking of blinky stuff,
This is a really rad NeoPixel top hat. Check out the prototype version in the bottom of the picture, and then the version with the 144 strip, that's a lot of LEDs. I'm sure that you shouldn't have those all on at once, unless your hat is plugged into a very beefy power supply. But very cool. We're seeing this is popular ever since the recent launch of the Guten hat, Philby's Bluetooth-enabled, Arduino-powered marquee text display top hat. And so this top hat, one of our customers made and uses a lot of Adafruit hardware, including the number keypad. It's not wireless, like not Bluetooth, but if you go to the next slide, there's under the brim, it uses one of our membrane keypads to change the animation.
yeah, it's cool.
So that's pretty cool. Things that are stiff like hats, and we'll have a, this summer, little sneak preview, we're going to have a hat contest.
That's right. Coming soon.
So top hats are really great because they're stiff, so you can put things on them. There's thin membrane keypads, so you can press it.
Check this
Very
out.
cool.
This is what it looks
platform.
like in action.
No, that's
sorry.
Phil B's Guten hat.
Sorry, I skipped.
Yeah, and it's complicated because there's two top hats here with
There's two
LEDs
top
on them
hats,
that we're
sorry.
talking about. So this one is a
Yeah.
customer's project.
Customer project.
Customer project. Beautiful
this is
customer
Phil B's.
project. And this is
Yeah.
Phil B's Guten hat
Okay.
that we have a tutorial for on the Adafruit Learning System. And it's called the Guten hat because it spirals the LED strip around it like the Gutenberg
Yeah.
Museum. But I thought when I first read it before I knew that, because it doesn't look like they're spiraled,
Yeah.
that it's because it's like the printing press, like the Gutenberg printing press, and it's like it's communicating to you.
Yeah.
But it's not it.
And then this one though
Guten
is
hat.
is the
Guten
way to
hat?
control
Oh
it.
no, that
yeah.
would be Guten hat. I just got it all wrong. I'm sorry, Phil
Guten
B.
hat. That's all right.
And this is it while you're testing. It's controlled wirelessly with iOS devices or the Android UART app to our Bluetooth NRF, Bluetooth Low Energy NRF module and an Arduino Micro. So
Yeah.
that's exciting. I was trying to get the NRF module working with the Arduino Micro, and I was having trouble. So I will use Phil B's sample code and for my next Bluetooth Arduino Micro project. And Flora too, because it uses the same, the 32 form.
Yeah, we discovered there's a new, I guess it's a verb. People are building complete Kickstarters off of the NeoPixel code. So people will say to Phil B, hey, I saw your code kickstarted on another project.
Kickstarted.
Yeah, so it's kind of neat. Like it's another name, I guess, for like open source code that's being used to fuel cool projects. That's neat.
Kickstarted.
Kickstarted. I
You've
saw
been
your code
kickstarted.
kickstarted. Yeah, it's neat. Okay,
All right.
keep on going.
Phil B. Okay, this is a really neat rain poncho that Leslie posted. It's interactive. It's like a music player. So this is a student who created. Their task was to make like radios.
Yeah.
And her radio is a rain poncho with the speakers in here, and it uses a wave shield. And the snap buttons up at the top here, they change what track is playing. So like the radio station, and then the what are these called? The drawstrings for the hood control the volume. So you pull on one,
cool.
and it raises the volume, and like a stretchy
that's a good
stretch
idea.
sensor kind of deal.
I usually just remove those, so that has a good.
You pull on it to raise and lower the volume, and it also is a functioning rain poncho. So that's cool. Neat wave shield project.
Next up. What is this?
This is a Drexel University student is working on these little 3D printed inserts for a pair of glasses that relieve seasonal affective disorder. So if you get sad in the winter, so get it, then the acronym for seasonal affective disorder is SAD. If you get sad in the winter, it can be salt, and people in Alaska get this a lot because of the light. It's not light for very long during the day. Something like 80% of seasonal affective disorder cases can be cured by light therapy, which is like just sitting in front of like some certain color temperature, certain wavelength set light for a couple hours a day, but like you have to sit there in the light, so people stop using it. So this is an idea to like to make the drop-off rate of treatment for.
So the glasses do this.
The glasses, they shine little light sort of in your peripheral vision, so you can just wear it all the time, and instead of having to go sit at a light therapy booth, you can just wear these glasses, and
I
they
don't
should
got
make
time
you.
for that.
Yeah, I don't have time for that either, but I also love the winter, so.
Okay. And this is solar, so that was winter. Now this is something about, this is solar dress, right?
Yeah, this is a Dutch fashion designer made a whole line of dresses that have solar panels, and then they're supposed to charge your phone. Something like an hour for a 50% charge, and that's what the claim is, and I'm kind of skeptical that you get that kind of charge on your phone out of the flexible solar panels that are just intermittently on the shoulders here in the dress. Also, like, it's funny to contrast with that hat we saw that measures how much UV you're being exposed to.
That's right.
And, like, tells you to go inside.
Yeah.
And, like, this, the longer you stay outside, the longer your phone is charged.
Yeah. This year, conflict is in. You have to go outside, and it's like, go back inside. No, charge your phone.
Charge your phone. Go back inside. Charge your phone.
No,
go back inside.
I won't. I will. Fashion.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much how I feel about fashion. Anyway, it's cool. Cool designs though, and could inspire your own creation. We have some flexible solar panels in this store. You can make a hat with flexible solar panels on it.
Okay.
Charge your phone.
Next up, this is the Make It Wearable. This is a big deal. There's a big deal going on.
Make It Wearable challenge at Intel launched their development track yesterday, and that's the development track is open to proposals for fledgling businesses. It's kind of like an alternative to Kickstarter if you have an idea for a project, and they have like $500,000 in funding to give to these people who submit
Intel
ideas.
really wants to be in the wearable space. They got a couple
Really
devices
bad.
that they're doing. They came and filmed you, talked about wearables, and the video that they made is a big chunk of it's Adafruit stuff because we have stuff that you can make wearables with.
Right, like when they want to talk about like the innovation behind making wearables, like the B-roll is all. We have all of the appropriate B-roll of manufacturing wearable electronics. So if you have a wearable idea and you were thinking about kickstarting it, or Indiegogoing it, or trying to find venture capital, this contest is kind of an alternative to that. It's a way to get funding, and I don't think there are very many strings attached to the funding either. And there's like several groups or proposals will be accepted for mentoring in business and manufacturing over the next several months. So it's a really cool opportunity. They came and interviewed me for the development track promo video, which is what has a lot of Adafruit footage in it. And they also have on the Creators Project, which is a partnership between Intel and Vice, have a video series about wearable electronics that has lots of different really cool makers featured. So
okay. Speaking of videos, every week we have a video here. What is this week's video, Becky?
This week's video is what you see here. I figured out how to unlock my phone with a ring on my finger or my nail polish, and I don't want to say much more because the video explains everything.
Okay, and here we go. Let's roll it.
A lot of new phones come equipped with NFC, or near-field communication. You can use it for cashless payment, or for swapping contact info, and even to automate actions on your phone. NFC tags are easy to come by and are available in a lot of different packages. We carry several in the Adafruit shop to go with our NFC Arduino Shield and Breakout. So today we're experimenting with NFC on the hand, specifically to try to unlock my Android phone just by picking it up. The simplest RFID ring we came up with is just a cheapo adjustable ring base like you'd find in a vending machine, and this black tag came out of our NFC wristband. We just glued it on. Back in 2008, I experimented with embedding a glass tag in a ring made out of resin, and then we saw this NFC ring online where Joe Faber rewound the antenna coil to wrap around his finger. Very cool. We tried dissolving a bigger tag in acetone to reveal its antenna and chip, just like we did to that Boston Charlie card a while back. Rewinding the antenna into a different shape can affect the tag's range and readability, so your mileage may vary. But we did whip up these 3D printed rings with a channel for the antenna if you want to try it out. The most fun experiment was shellacking a tag into my nail polish. I got the idea from Katya Vega, whose work is super cool, and you can check it out at a link in the description. I carefully cut this tag until the circuit could be delaminated and gave it a slight curve. Then I soaked off the gel polish on my thumb as normal before sticking the tag to the new base coat. Then I followed up with several coats of the UV cured top coat and got to scanning. I love the idea of stashing NFC tags with my nail polish, and as far as security goes, it's a lot harder to steal or lose a fingernail than it is a piece of jewelry. The idea on the phone end of things is to have it pull for NFC when the screen is on but the phone is still locked, which requires rooting and modding your Android installation. I documented the process for my Nexus 4 on the full tutorial for this project on the Adafruit Learning System. Previously, I needed 2 hands to unlock my phone since it's too big to hold and use the touchscreen with just one. Now I can just pick up my phone and press one button to turn on the screen, and it automatically unlocks after reading the NFC tag I've specified. This ring and manicure have me jazzed to try out all kinds of NFC projects, and the Tasker app for Android makes it super easy to customize almost any phone behavior you can think of. I'd really love to see what RFID and NFC projects you're working on, so be sure to stop by our weekly show and tell on Google+. If you've got wearables questions, post them up in the comments, and I'll answer them every week on our live show, Wearable Electronics, with me, Becky Stern.
Okie dokie. All right, so you have some photos of this process that you did. That was a cool video.
Yeah, this was really fun project to do. These are the experiments. So we, Noe and Pedro modeled a couple of rings to try to, so that you guys can experiment with embedding a tag in a ring form if you have a 3D printer. I found this little adjustable thing that I had laying around in my jewelry making box. At first I was going to make like a really nice silversmith ring, and the ring that we were inspired by was also kind of labor intensive project. Yeah. And I was like, well, why don't we just let's just make it super simple and glue a freaking tag to the adjustable ring base. But you can also mod an existing piece of jewelry you have, or make something new if you're in a jewelry class. And then the nail polish just kind of happened by accident. I was playing around with all the different tags that we have in the store, and I broke open the leather fob, and this little tag was in it, and it fit on my thumbnail. But they are certainly much smaller tags available. You want to just, there's a couple more pictures.
Yeah.
And I'll show it on the overhead. I'll demo it on the
Got some
overhead.
process photos. So you measured it. You're like, okay, this is how big it is.
Yeah, if you want to, so like rewinding the tag antenna is really hard to get it to scan reliably. So you might want to, if you want to make a ring, you might want to start with a tag that the antenna coil is already the right diameter for your finger. And that's what I was just checking here with the calipers. And then the other alternative is to dissolve the tag in acetone, and this was one of the business card style ones, and then you rewind it, but it does affect the range of scannability. For instance, I rewound it into this ring form we made, and the wires are very delicate. They're enameled, but you can rip them off of the chip really easily, and like cramming it all in there made it so that you have to be like right up against it to scan it, which is what you want. But I mean, so it's a fun experiment, but it wasn't the most reliable way we found to scan. This, however, worked great, and it even worked through my finger. So I ordered some smaller sticker type tags to test out if I can put them on my other nails, and like just touching your phone, not even backwards, would unlock it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we're going to experiment more with that. Yeah. And then this is a special tool I use. It's called a ring mandrel. It's a jewelry making tool. It's basically just a tapered piece of steel. The other side of it has like graduations on it that show you different ring sizes. But I just use that to curve the tag kind of like a Pringle before I stuck it down, because it needs to be flush while it's curing in the UV lamp, which is the next photo.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So you know how much I like fancy manicures, so this is extra fancy manicure.
Yeah, this is it, because it's like dipping your toes in like the augmented human world without getting an injection with an RFID tag. Like people
Right.
do that. This is kind of nice. It's very temporary, and who knows? Like maybe there'll be something better one day, like Bluetooth Low Energy nails.
Right,
You don't
like
want,
I saw years ago.
you don't want to be obsolete.
No.
Yeah.
Years ago, we saw the first RFID tag implanted in a hand
Yeah.
for like keyless entry. But it was a dude, and like dudes don't necessarily wear jewelry or nail polish. Are we entering a time when men can be pretty again, like with fluffy lace collars and stuff?
I mean, I'm
Like
pretty.
back in the Victorian age when it
You
was.
have no idea what I do at night.
I know, but it's not culturally. But you know what I mean. Like, when is it? Like, is this going to make nail polish come back for dudes, or come into style?
I'm calling it yes.
All right, great. Why don't I prove to you that this works by showing
Yeah.
you on the overhead? I have my phone. I just cleaned it so it's not all oily, and I'll show you on the overhead.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the overhead.
That this actually does work. I promise. And
Okay.
I didn't soft brick my phone 4 times for this project, just for it not to show it to you live. So.
Okay.
What I did was the Cyanogen mod firmware lets you customize your phone in a lot of different ways, and I found a script online that on top of Cyanogen mod replaces the NFC NCI.apk file that controls the settings for when NFC is on your phone. And so when your phone is unlocked is the stock behavior. That's
Yeah.
when NFC is on and polling for tags. It's not polling for tags when the screen is off, and it's not polling for tags on the lock screen. And that custom NFC NCI.apk file changes that so that it is pulling NFC on the lock screen. So that it drains your battery slightly faster. If you were to there's ones out there that have it so that it's always pulling NFC even when the screen is off, and that does drain your battery kind of fast. I just have it pulling for NFC on the lock screen. I already undid my nails, but I have the ring here on my finger, and so when the lock screen's on and I put the phone on my hand, it unlocks it.
Live demo.
Yeah, live demo. And
Normally demos like this happen at like the Samsung like annual event or something, and like everything crashes, it doesn't work. But here we are doing a live event. You have RFID. It's in your hand. The phone was unlocked.
let me show you again. So it's locked.
Do it in slow motion.
It has it has the password screen. I scan the tag, and you can see up here that it says the action that it just did.
Says it just did
last
it.
actions, authenticating ring. And so I used a couple custom apps, to make this action. First was to
That's
make
cool.
it pull NFC, on the lock screen. So that's a firmware mod. Then there's 3 apps that make this happen. One is a secure settings app, and that lets you adjust more settings than just your settings app. So
Yeah.
it lets you disable and enable the key guard. It lets you enable and disable a screen lock password, any of those deep level settings about your phone. And then an app called Tasker, which is an automation app.
Yep.
And it's not free. It's like $6. The other ones are free, but it's totally worth it. It's really awesome. You can automate any of your phone's actions. So I have a task set up that it triggers the secure settings app to clear the password, disable the key guard, which is the swipe to unlock screen, and like set a variable to remind itself that it needs to lock later. And I have another task that executes when the screen turns off to relock the screen. But it's really cool. And then the third app is just an NFC trigger app that is triggered anytime an NFC tag is read. It looks for tasks and it triggers the Tasker app.
What's cool is this is the future. This is what all phones will eventually do in some way.
Yeah.
But you can do it now yourself with all these different things. And it's very personal, and your phone is more special to you now.
Yeah.
Because you've done this. And when you talk to people and you're hanging out, you could be like, look what I did to my phone. And they're going to be like, oh my God, that's so cool. How can I do that? And you're like, well, here's a link.
Just follow the tutorial. But
Yeah.
I followed lots of people's guides, and I was reading lots of forums in order to bring you the tutorial for this project that will be published in just a few minutes. I
Hanging out on
promise.
forums is a drag, though, so this
It's
is
a
good.
drag, so this combines it all together. But all of those people were saying things like, "My phone is awesome because I'm awesome."
Yeah.
You know, like if that it's a personal extension of who you are, and that's really
All right,
exciting.
so I'm awarding you this. This is the awesome Android badge.
Yay,
So you
thanks.
did a very good job.
I totally earned it.
This is an Adafruit Android badge. If you know someone who's done a cool thing with Android, cool hack mod or whatever, schools and workshops use these. So we also deploy these to our staff. There you go.
Well, and previous to this project, I
Yeah.
didn't earn my Android
No.
badge, and now I totally have.
Don't want to be an Android poser. Now you've earned it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on my sash
Okay, that's cool.
or my bag.
Someone could say, why do you have that Android badge? Just like, well, actually.
Well, because I am elite Android hacksaw. Don't you
Okay.
see my glowing green light that proves that I have Cyanogen mod running on my Nexus 4?
This is the code.
Android NFC.
You can get your own badge if you want to buy it, but make sure you earned it.
10% off your Android badge. So the last thing on Wearable Wednesday I would like to cover is the teaser for tomorrow's 3D Thursday project, and it is a wearable project this 3D Thursday. This is a case for the MiniPov 4, our RGB persistence of vision light painting kit. That's an excellent soldering kit, and it's a hard PLA box with a black flexible Ninja Flex band that looks rather rad, and a custom knob to put on top of the potentiometer so you can adjust the speed dynamically, and it's great for when you want to do light painting photography on your skateboard, on your bicycle, on your scooter, around town, just, hands-free light painting.
Yeah, I like the design because it looks like a science fiction prop, but it's also a cool thing that you can make yourself. Okay.
Yeah, so check that out. The learning guide is already live if you want to take a sneak peek, and the video will come out tomorrow, 3D Thursday. Don't miss it. Component
of the week. It's going to be familiar.
NFC tags. We has them. You can has them too.
Lots of different types.
The small tag that I got out of for my nails came out of this leather fob. If you're looking for the Adafruit smallest possible antenna NFC tag, this is it, believe it or not. And I'm going to see about talking to Lady Ada about getting small sticker type so that we can officially have ones that are good for manicure. This is the kind that you can cut apart, so you slice it. If you cut really close to the antenna, then the whole thing will delaminate and you can take the circuit out. It's the same kind. This is what the tag looks like that's inside the leather fob, but this is the one we sell by itself. It's a little bit bigger, blah, blah, blah. This one that I got on that I put on this ring here came out of this bracelet NFC tag that we have. I just cut it open, the silicone band, and this black tag came out, and that's what I glued onto my ring.
Okay.
You could also just do this project with a wristband and hold your phone to your wristband.
Okay. One more reminder before we go into tools you love and then questions. Android NFC is the code. Use it before midnight.
You can use it to get some NFC tags. Tools we love.
Excuse me.
This week, we're talking about a hardware software tool that has to do with Android, since we're kind of having an Android show. This is the Yo-Yo Mint. It's a bridge between Android and Arduino. So it connects to your Android phone via Bluetooth or USB. You can plug it in. And it can do things like translate the sensor data from your phone into your Arduino application. So you can use the proximity sensor, the humidity sensor, the compass, and stuff like that on your phone and wirelessly transmit it to your, say you wanted to make, you could use this to control your LED top hat, kind of like the Bluetooth module in Phil B's tutorial. And you can also, vice versa, plug in external sensors that you that you control with Arduino, like an alcohol sensor or any of our sensors that don't come with your phone, IR proximity sensor, whatever, and send that data back to your phone. So we have a picture of the Pixel Guts kit.
Yeah, it's a good example of being used.
It's a good example of it controlling a display from an Android tablet. It sends full color graphics over and displays on the LED matrix. So you could use this to, display on your flexible wearable LED matrix if you wanted to. And so it's a really fun way to get your Arduino projects involved with your Android phone. And that's why it is a tool we love.
Okay, we're gonna go to question and answers.
Since we're running late. We're running over. I was so enthusiastic about Android.
Yeah, we had a bunch of stuff
to show. I've been bitten by the robot real bad.
So the prize this week is a bunch of NFC stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give these tags.
NFC tag assortment for you.
Okay.
One of you lucky question askers. So just to be straight up, you ask questions, you put them in the comments, I save them for next week or the week after, and you are eligible to win something like this.
But where can I post these questions, Becky?
On YouTube or Google Plus or Twitter or by carrier pigeon or wherever.
Okay.
And we'll find them.
The most common place is the YouTube comments on this week's video.
Yeah, that's a really easy place.
Also on Google Plus, and then sometimes even in the Wearable
on the blog.
Forum. Yeah, on the blog or on the forum too. Yeah.
So post your questions. I will find them and I will answer them.
First up, to my two favorite wearable celebrities, is it possible to dye NinjaFlex? Thanks. I think there's only one wearable celebrity.
I haven't tried to dye it. It is available in a lot of different colors that we don't carry in the Adafruit store. So and there's a lot of new ones too, like pink and orange and all of that stuff that Feder Drives is starting to crank out now that NinjaFlex is getting really popular. Yeah. You had an idea about coloring 3D prints.
However, Google for 3D printing and Sharpie, a lot of people are there's a whole rainbow of Sharpies, and they're taking 3D prints and using Sharpies to color them in, and they look actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Which is neat, because I kind of like the idea that you'd be able to still print out everything in one color, and then you as a human can go in and color it.
Yeah.
And it looked as good or is not better than the kind of the first prints that you saw from like the Z Corp early color printers. It was kind of like pastel-y. They're always kind of faded because I think they use a powder.
They use a powder bed process. Yeah.
So these it actually look nice. So
try Sharpie. I tried a little bit just before the show to draw on some Ninja Flex we had with a Sharpie, and it does color it just fine. It came off a little bit on my finger, but like if you let it dry, it should be fine. So try Sharpies or an Easter egg die. I don't know. It's plastic, so it's weird.
Next up, I don't suppose you guys might produce and sell a wearable flora that can snap in and out like a really expensive shirt does. Only please the solder snaps, not just rivet them. Those mechanical connections are just screaming unreliable.
Okay, so Dan and A was referring to the Torkel shirt from Cute Circuit that we took apart that snapped into, that had snaps on its PCB that snapped into the shirt, and that's how the connections are made. We don't have a Flora with snaps the same way that SparkFun has a lily pad with snaps.
Yeah, they have a snap pad.
However, we have a tutorial for soldering snaps onto Flora so that you can do just that. So if you have a soldering iron, follow that tutorial, and then you will have your very own snap-on Flora, and you can tell people you made it yourself. We do have the snaps in the store, too, the right-size snaps.
Next up, my question, do you have to edit files in the Arduino software for Flora or in Gemma? If so, what?
Yes, you have to change the boards.txt file and a couple other things. You can learn how to do that in the tutorial called Getting Started with Flora or the tutorial called Introducing Gemma. They both also have download links so that if you don't want to make those mods yourself, you can just download the package that's appropriate for your operating system. But yeah, you can't just use the stock Arduino IDE to program Flora or Gemma. But you also don't have to do it yourself.
And last, I have a question for the Q&A. I'm working on a Gemma corsage that lights up with a NeoPixel ring. How long can the battery last if I use a 150 milliamp hour LiPo battery from Adafruit?
So that configuration is the same as our Gemma hoop earrings project. That's a 16 NeoPixel ring and a 150 milliamp hour battery and a Gemma. And the answer, of course, is that it depends on like the programming and how many of the LEDs are on at what brightness. But I can tell you that our Gemma hoop earrings, that's the same sort of circuit you're talking about, with a 16 NeoPixel ring, they last about 4 hours. So if you use that animation with the spiral, but that animation was written by Phil B for the goggles to be really power efficient. So if you were to have all of those LEDs on bright white the whole time, it would obviously be much less than 4 hours. And if you only had one LED on very dim the whole time, it would be much
6 hours,
more than 4 hours. So, but that's a pretty good, like if it's a 16, you didn't say what size NeoPixel ring, but I'm assuming it's a 16, and you should be pretty good with that battery. You could upgrade to the 500 milliamp hour battery that's only a little bit bigger but a lot more juicy if you were worried about it. But I think you'll be fine, and I can't wait to see all of the prom projects.
Yeah. Okay. Well, those are some great questions this week. Why don't you give some stuff away?
Okay, put your questions in this bin. It's labeled things, and I'll pick one of you as a winner. You will win these assortment of NFC tags. Happy day. Janelle, you have won. Congratulations. Her question about Ninja Flex has earned you this assortment of NFC tags. Please email support@adafruit.com to claim your prize. I will also send you a message on the YouTubes.
Okay.
Congratulations. If you want a prize, ask a question.
Yeah. All right. Just a reminder before we go, the code is Android NFC. 10% off in Flora and the Wearables category expires 11:59 p.m. tonight. Don't forget, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, show and tell. If you have projects, look for the show and tell on Adafruit's Google Plus page. Say that you want to share your project. Wearable projects are welcome, and we have lots of them. Then 8 p.m., ask an engineer. And then 9:15, I go to bed. I race home and go to bed. That's not broadcast yet. There's nobody who wants to do that.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, we'll be here next week, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Same time next week.
Same Wearable time. Same Wearable channel.
Same Wearable show.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody.